episode 31 of the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. Today's episode is Back to School.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving. And while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Hey there, parents. Dr. Nick Fanning with the Super Parent Syndrome once again. I want to thank you again for the time that you are investing. So let's just get to it. It's back to school time, which means you're not off the hook. So what I mean by that is that kids are going back to school in the droves, and all of a sudden now there's going to be a disruption in scheduling because now all of a sudden junior's been at home all summer. There's been a schedule with that, whether it's daycare, whether it's home, whether it's lifting, getting ready for sports. I don't know. But again, you had your own schedule for the summer too. Now that school's back in session is a unique opportunity for you to take hold of this and make some big changes. And yeah, for some of you, you're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to be able to work more. But for some of you, this might be a great opportunity to work out more. If at the very least, instead of making a change to work out or whatever like that, I challenge you to choose something to learn in the next couple weeks. So even if it can be like a course, like an online course, do that. It could be something more official, like a language or art history, or maybe just a review of some of the stuff that you've learned in the past that you really had to be passionate about. Some of the best examples is that there's a great website called Teachify, where you can actually go on and learn some online courses. MIT has an amazing selection of courses that you can take for free from their college classes. There is really no excuse. The big thing that you got to figure out and worry about is when and where am I going to do that? But I challenge you that there's no way to improve yourself unless you're constantly pushing that edge. And it can be as easy as like, oh, I'm going to read 3 books about leadership, or I'm going to read 3 books about parenting, or whatever it might be. You can create your own course. You can follow somebody else's course. The big thing that I want you to do is just because it's back to school for your kids does not mean it can't be back to school for you. Now, you parents that are rocking it and going to college, actually go to college for a degree, man, my hat is off to you, and I am very, very impressed because that is no easy task. For those that are not, I know you have plenty on your plate, but there can be just one other thing you can do. I know that you have Bible studies and things like that. If that Bible study is your way of pushing yourself and learning a little bit more, then so be it. And the best thing is that it does not have to be something that can be boring on the computer, watching lectures or listening to stuff. It could be subscribing to a new podcast. It could be watching a new video series. It could be as simple as like, hey, you know what? I'm going to use YouTube to teach me how to cook Asian cuisine. There's really no excuse. The big thing is that you just put it in your task manager. You have it repeat so many times a week. For example, I'll have review Italian 3 times a week for the next 9 weeks. And what a great way to make sure that I spend 45 minutes just doing that. And, it's one of those things where I say, okay, well, I can't watch Netflix. I can't even do, look online and look at stupid pictures of cats until I get my 45 minutes in that I promised myself. And it can be as simple as using my lunch break and listening to a podcast about selling. It could be using my lunch break and instead of just eating and just kind of being dumb about things, I could be honestly plugged my phone into my ears, walking around the block, learning how to do something. I mean, it's really that easy. And even if it's cruddy weather out, which it'll soon be in a couple of months here, you can still use that to walk around the office or walk around your building or walk around your house, whatever it might be, to learn something extra. You can use those nap times, folks. You can use anything you can, but the big thing is be in a state of constant growth. State of constant growth means more attractiveness, and you're just going to change your life so much for the better. And it's one of those things that these are things that top leaders do, is constantly reading on new subjects that really interest them and saying no to some of the stuff that doesn't really matter. So, one of the big things that I think Warren Buffett said is the difference between successful people and incredible successful people is incredibly successful people say no to almost anything. So that's the big thing I'm going to leave you with, folks, is that you can do it, you can push yourself, and I believe in you, but that's the only way you're going to change things for the better. So this is Dr. Nick Fanning. Again, thank you so much for your time with us. If you haven't already subscribed, please go to Pep Talk for Parents for our free newsletter. And also, if you have any questions, comments, please reach out to me. I'm always there for you. And that's it. So Dr. Nick Fanning, signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.